It is a new month, which means it is time for some more indie books coming our way, this time for September of 2025. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the indie releases coming our way for September of 2025. We've got a few, as always, on this list, and I will say that they do not come from me. These lists are products from Rob J. Hayes and AJ Calvin's blog, so if you want to go and check them out, their links will be in the description down below, and you can see what books are coming out each and every month, and I simply give it a video platform. So if you are interested in what's coming out for the month of September, stay tuned, because there are a few starting with September 1st. The first one we have here is a series continuation from Mr. Tao Wong, who I feel like has a book coming out every other month. This is Climbing the Ranks, book number 3, which is, I think it's just Climbing the Ranks. There is no title other than the series here. This is progression / cultivation / lit RPG, and the tagline says, "Nothing beginner in this challenge." I can't read too much more because we already start off with a book number 3, but it looks like this. All the covers will be up here. Also on September 1st, we have System Architect. This is Integration by A.T. Hawkins, which is lit RPG. I love this cover so much. It is up there for cover pick of the month. I haven't actually looked at the whole list, so we'll see if this takes out cover pick. But I really enjoy the greens and what's going on here. Simple cover, simple text, with a very eye-catching image in the middle there. This one says, Eddie messed up. Not the minor sort, like flubbering. Okay, good on you, Kris. Like flubbing a presentation at work, but the really serious kind that ruins lives. You see, Eddie wished to have a system while he was drunk out of his mind. Now he's back in his past, staring down the end of the world. The system he wanted? Question mark. Well, now he's got to build it himself, and he's only got 15 years to do it. To make matters worse, the changes he needs to make are expensive. Of course, there's a way. All it will cost is making the impending disaster he caused even worse. No pressure, Eddie. Also on September 1st, we have The Last Ballad of Hope. This is book number 3 in A Time of Dragons by Philip C. Quantrell. Every time this guy puts out a book, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to read those series, because there is one already 7-book series, and this one's already at book 3. Again, we have a stunning cover here with the purple and blue tones with the gold text on the front. Death cannot hold him. That's what they said. Also on the 1st of September, we have the not-so-mundane mysteries of Norman Melamourne by J.G. Terrell. What a mouthful of a title there. This is alternate history, fantasy alternate history. Interesting, already quite intrigued. A down-on-his-luck ex-detective, a jittery professor suspected of murder, and a mystery they can't solve without each other. I'm very interested. If Norman Melamourne, a source-hating ex-detective, had things his way, the source wouldn't have snapped into existence 20 years ago. After all, it's the reason his wife lost her life, he lost his job, and now even his favorite restaurants use source-processed ingredients. He can taste the difference, and it's awful. When a consulting position lands on his plate, it leaves a bad taste too. The source was the apparent method of murder. As much as Norman despises the source, the one hard and fast rule was it couldn't affect living things. But it seems it had, and to make matters worse, the prime suspect, Lance Dellum, is the son of the man Norman blames for his wife's death. Lance Dellum, professor of source studies, can't get the image of his student Sasha's magically burned eyes out of his head. Magically burned out eyes from his head. I only got there in the end. It was an impossible thing, the source affecting living material, but it had happened, and Lance, for all his knowledge of the damned field, couldn't figure out how or why. Torn between grief and frustration at his lack of understanding, Lance soon finds himself in a desperate attempt to clear his name. Another body was found after Lance's release, and more circumstantial evidence points to him. As he investigates, Norman's heart says Lance did it. An expert in the field might be able to pull this off, and the kid came from a bad crop as far as Norman was concerned. But his gut says Lance is being set up, and Norman always trusts his gut. Getting Lance to trust Norman might be about as difficult as clearing the kid's name, but the two must work together to prove Lance's innocence and discover why someone is killing with the source. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but potential that we are talking about an AI-like thematic and its place in our world where none of us creatives want it. So I'm quite interested in that. We also have The Returned Part 2 by Jason Strutz, which is horror. It looks cool. Got a cool cover for this one too. Medieval horror family drama and a graphic novel. Interesting. It says it's for pre-order on Kickstarter. I don't know that I've come across an indie graphic novel before. I'm going to have to go and check that one out after this list comes out. Moving on to September 2, we have Bloodbound Reverberations by Chase McPherson. This is Bloodbound book number 5. It looks like this. Now, this green is great. I love green. It's very creepy. However, this is horror fantasy with LGBTQIA+ themes. 3 souls, 2 realms, 1 truth buried in blood. But it is book 5, so I can't give you too much more than that. Also on September 2nd, we have The Execution of Rooker Flynn. This is by A.R. Witham, and it looks like this. I think some people have read this one and enjoyed this one already. A.R. Witham, I quite enjoyed his story in The Advent of Winter, but I haven't gone ahead and picked up any of the other works. This is epic fantasy. He's not a hero, he's an outlaw with 13 death sentences. It's time to pay the hangman. Also on September 2nd, we have Tipori, Tales from the Dessos, book number 1 by Cindy L. Sell. Hopefully I pronounced some of that correctly. This says, a champion pit fighter crowned king of slavers, a military leader collared and made to kneel, an attraction of opposing forces that could topple an empire. For 6 months, Masha has tried and failed to break his new slave, former commander Marala Avalia. While he dreads resorting to crueler tactics, his employer grows impatient, and rumors of the slave's defiance threaten all that Masha has built. Morella would rather die than be wrapped in chains again. Determined to return to her people and the war in which her family was killed, she nearly succeeds in fleeing Masha's palace, but a stroke of ill fortune places her back in her captor's arms. A place she loathes more than anything, until an act of compassion permits a glimpse behind the slaver's mask. Despite the damage she's done to his reputation, Masha can't help but admire Morella's cunning wit and tactical mind. When his employer gives him an ultimatum, break the unbreakable or forfeit his seat at the top of the empire, Masha strikes a deal with Morella. She'll play the perfect slave, and he'll help her return home after the sale. But as their shared animosity crumbles into a dangerous attraction, Masha learns the only thing more precious than his fortune is the woman he has promised to save. Interesting. I like the cover for this one as well. The roses and the reds play off that deep purple in the background there. On September 3rd, we have The Crucifix by Naomi Cashman. This is YA Gothic horror with supernatural elements in there. And it looks like this cool cover, like quite a simple cover, but very striking with the light in the middle there. There are always 2 sides to everyone. Some people are just good at keeping their sinful side hidden. Something dark and sinister lurks in the musty hallways and abandoned rooms of the Covenant of Mercy. The now defunct orphanage, with its history of odd occurrences and murderous deeds, draws tourists with a taste for the macabre. But what if the stories that have been whispered about by the locals are true? In 1865, orphaned Catherine is sent to live at the Covenant where fear rules. Nobody will speak of the odd occurrences, an organ playing in the dead of night, fresh graves dug beneath her window, and the Reverend Mother's bizarre obsession with the ornate crucifix. Worse still, girls who are summoned to her office are never seen again. When Catherine attracts the attention of the malevolent sister, Nora, her survival seems unlikely. Catherine's quest to uncover the truth Catherine's quest to uncover the truth exposes her to unspeakable evil. Will she resist the darkness that festers in her soul, or will she succumb to the unholy power of the crucifix? Naomi Cashman's The Crucifix is a chilling gothic horror story, but beware, once you enter the Covenant of Mercy, there is no escape. Also on September 3rd, we have Tanner's Place at Caleb Clark. Tanner's Place by Caleb Clark. My eyeballs went too fast for me there. This is epic fantasy / horror. I also really like this cover. Looking for a clean start, far from the modernity of the city, Escher and her bodyguard, Narosh, have taken a new job. Far to the north, the pair finds themselves in a rundown village called Tanner's Place, and it's clear the townsfolk aren't fond of outsiders. On the night of the Reaper's Moon, Escher and Ner must fend off the faceless demons in the woods and the ones they carry within, but nobody leaves Tanner's Place alive. In fact, nobody leaves at all. Interesting. On the 4th of September, we have The Assassin's Wrath. This is Legends of Shadow, book number 2 by R.S. Mole, and we've got this striking orange cover here with the dragon in the background, but it is a book 2, so it says a master assassin, a fugitive prince, an impossible quest to hunt a dragon. On the 5th of September, we have To Touch a Silent Fury, The Bride of Evenfold, book number 1 by R.A. Sandpiper. This is epic fantasy / romance. She rides to claim her fate. He flies to burn it down. As the only woman in the Moontouch Brotherhood, Tani studies on the haughty island of Evenfold, surrounded by men who see her as an ill omen at best. Her fate ceremony is only days away, offering 5 possible escapes from the storm-locked island, but each with their own consequences. Lang, an insubordinate crown prince, holds the reins to one of the few true dragons left in the world. Sent to Evenfold on a diplomatic mission, by his warmongering father, he watches as the brothers bestow a rare and unwanted marriage fate on Tani. Already her touch magic alarms him, but if she succeeds and marries the victor of the upcoming tournament, her power could topple empires. They both arrive at the games, her to claim her fate, him to destroy it by any means possible. If you like dark romantasy, that sounds very promising. On the 17th of September, we have A Queen in Blood, Warriors of Spirit and Bone, book number 3 by Nick Snape, an author that I need to pick up soon. It says, not all heroes carry swords, and this is epic fantasy / grimdark. On the 12th of September, we have Drawing Fire. This is Fire and Ice, book number 2 by Kelly Scriven, and we've got some fire happening in this cover here. Well scented. I enjoy that quite a lot. A big name coming in for September 15th, The Reckoning. This is Songs of Chaos, book number 4 by Michael R. Miller. I really need to get to these books. I've got books 1 to 3 on my shelf. It is time. It was on my list this year, and I still haven't picked it up yet. This is epic fantasy / progression and cultivation. It just says winter, war, and chaos. Well, it says more, but for selfish reasons, and also because it's a book 4, I will not be reading further in the blurb. On the 16th of September, we have Set in Stone by Niranjan K. This is a romance entry to this list. Nothing is set in stone, but time is running out. Aspen has been an assassin for the rebels fighting against the tyrant Draven. Though lacking in magic, she makes up for it with her skills and magical weapons. When a mission goes awry, putting her in Draven's sights, she has no choice but to run. But Draven is the tyrant who has already conquered the world and has destroyed half of it. His magic has no limits, and she has no magic at all. Capture is inevitable, as her eventual fate as an assassin eliminating her enemies. Capture is as inevitable as her eventual fate as an assassin eliminating his enemies. An obscure prophecy offers a chance for escape, not just for her, but the entire world. It comes with a heavy price, however. Can Aspen accept her soulmate bond with Draven to change both their destinies, or will she give in to her hatred and destroy herself and the world's only chance of salvation? That's a hard question to answer. On the 22nd of September, we have After Dark by Miriam Yvette. This is Witches and Wolves, book number 1. This is paranormal romance and supernatural suspense. Dante leaned back, half amused. You're mad because I didn't kiss you, aren't you? Oh, good heavens. I'm mad because I want to kiss you now. This is the raunchiest blurb I've ever had to read on this. Vina wants a summer escape, but she wasn't expecting a coffee run to end with a wolf shifter trapped in her mum's bookstore. Don't you hate when that happens? Setting him free is out of the question when her scarf is now in his possession, and a ruthless organization is intent on uncovering their crime. If witches and wolves clash, a loveless marriage will be their punishment. Interesting. On the 26th of September, we have Queen of Thorns, Servants of the Moon and Sun. Oh, that is a good series name. By Joel C. Flanagan, Grandman. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. This is an intriguing cover. Is that a gun? On a knight? Interesting. Join Kanan and his party of fellow Elenite, half human, half fairy, Thorn brothers and Thorn maidens as they complete their revenge mission in a nearby human village. I'm intrigued. They're after a man who killed his wife years before. Kanan is sworn to protect the wife and was trying to help her escape to the safety of the exile forest. The husband also led a group who massacred those from the forest who came looking for Kanan when he fled in shame, leading him to meet Talia and her party in Talia? Heir to the Fairy Realm, book 1 of this series. Okay, so maybe it's a book 2. This is book 5. Alright, we're not going to read any further than that because it says book 5 on the top there. Oh, I was blind. It also says it there. Moving on. On September 27th, I'll just make sure we don't have anything on September 25th. We don't. On September 27th, we have Of Sorrow and Ashes. This is the Illyrian Saga by Ballad, and hopefully I pronounced that one correctly too. It says, what would you sacrifice for peace? And this is epic fantasy. Dreamir Shaunatir? Dreamir Shaunatir, I've butchered that, wishes for nothing more than to leave his past behind and start a new life. As he sails away from Atheus with no plans to return, he meets with an old childhood friend who bears a tragic past. Sea Captain Lena Yelmaris is on a secret quest to find a mysterious sorceress who may grant her the deepest wish of her heart, and she needs Dreamir's help to face untold dangers. But is he truly prepared to face what he has buried in his own heart? Can one truly run away from fate? And we've got one more here on September 30th. No, I lied. There's been a couple more. There's a few on September 30th. Never mind, scratch that reverse. So we've got like 4 or 5. Starting us off on September 30th, we have Die Slow. This is Runeborn number 2 by Morgan Shank. And I've beta read this one. It is a huge step up from Die Young, which was already pretty good. So I'm hoping that people who enjoy the series will enjoy this one. I'm so keen to get it out into the world, or see it out into the world. And Morgan Shank is just an all-round good dude, and this trilogy is a lot of fun so far. It is a book 2, so I can't actually go into any details here. Also on the 30th of September, this is the cover pick. I think it's been beaten out. This is a cover pick. The play on shadow and the sunset colors are gorgeous. This is Children of the Gods, Age of Fire, book 1 by S.A. Klopfenstein. Klopfenstein. I am so sorry. One of those has got to be correct, hopefully. May the world be brighter for our burning. At the edge of a war-torn world ruled by the Attican Empire and their fearsome dragon mounts, the fate of the nation falls upon a few individual destinies: a shaman, a huntress, a soldier, and a rebel spy. The Feltari people are a special gift. The Feltari people are special, gifted by the gods with abilities beyond mortal men. Yet they have chosen a life of peace and seclusion. As Malik comes of age, he longs for more than the life of a village shaman, more than the future that stands before him on the Isle of Feltara. His best friend Reese is torn between a life of duty and the destiny that lingers in the back of her mind. But there are secrets on the island, secrets that have sustained their people over the centuries. And when the truth comes to light, Malik and Reese must reckon with their people's shrouded past, and a destiny that will demand more of them than they ever imagined. Across the world, Ulra has sacrificed everything for the expansion of the Attican Empire, but a secret mission to the mysterious Isle of Feltara will force her to confront the brutal truth about the nation she serves. And born in the wake of a failed uprising, Ava has grown up in the shadow of her people's conquerors, but the key to the Empire's power may finally be within her grasp. If she can uncover the source of the Empire's dragons, her parents' rebellion may finally stand a chance. Worlds will collide, fire will reign, and all must choose a side. So begins the Age of Fire. That sounds great. That is definitely going on my TBR. Also on September 30th, we have Of Mages and Makers by Rel Carroll. Got a cool cover here as well. We've got like a steampunky vibe. This is romance/gaslamp. It says Mr. Art Case has one goal in to appear as useless as possible. When his sister recklessly unveils a dangerous new invention at the Maker exhibitions, an elite competition for the coveted title of Maker, and her blueprints are stolen. Art is forced to intervene or risk losing everything he pretends not to care about, with an unwelcome mage looking over his shoulder and a looming timeline to find and return the blueprints to the Queen. All clues point to a suspicious carriage conveying a most delightful obstacle. This sounds whimsical. Miss Audrey Clune longs to be Robin Renegade, the fearless heroine from the old adventure stories. In real life, however, her choices are rather limited. Before accepting a sudden proposal from the man of her grandmother's choosing, Audrey sets out on one last journey to visit her beloved aunt. When her carriage is ambushed by 2 mysterious highwaymen, she embraces a novel world of industry and magic with opportunity for adventure far greater than she imagined. As both Audrey and Art play-act different roles in society, the honest truth is a precious commodity. especially when dangerous secrets come to light and power has terrible consequences. That sounds like a bit of fun. Sounds very whimsical. And to finish us off, we've got another cool cover here. We have The Reckoning of Heirs, the Mexico Chronicles, book number 2 by Emilia Perez. The cover is up here. Reckoning is coming. The more I look at that cover, the more I like it. So I think my cover pick does have to be Children of the Gods by S.A. Klopfenstein, and I'm so sorry about the pronunciation there. And that looks to be it for our lists this month. There are some very interesting sounding books on there as always. Let me know what you're going to pick up in the comments down below. If you like this content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.